we're talking about Seattle, um, we'll go into baseball. I know there's a lot of football stuff happening. We're talking about the NHL and baseball, but the Seattle Mariners decided that, you know what, it's time to blow it up after they currently are, I think, the team with the longest playoff drought in North American sports among the big four franchises, big four sports. So, and that's not going to end anytime soon right now. Gosh, Robinson Cano is now out in New York with the Mets, not the Yankees, and they already introduced him, and it looks like the Mariners are not done with their moves. Uh, any thoughts, guys?
Uh, yeah, I'll start it off. I mean, it was expected because the problem was that the Seattle Seahawks, or the Seattle Mariners, they weren't bad in the AL. They went 89 and
It was
73.
actually
The
their
problem
best
is,
season in a while.
yeah, the problem, and they suffered, because they went through multiple managers. A lot of players kind of came and went. The only thing that was consistent there was Felix Hernandez, and he's on the decline.
Yeah,
They picked up Robbie Cano from us, years ago because
us
they
being the
tried.
Yankees, right?
The Yankees. For
Charles,
the
the Yankees
for
fans,
the new
everybody.
viewers. Hate me now, love me later. They had the opportunity, but the problem is, you had such a good success, because I would think being, 89 and 73, a good success, and not even come close to the wild card. It was logical. They're going to want to shed some money, sending out Cano frees you some money. You're going to get some prospects back. No, everybody knows that this is not going to be a win for Seattle, but it's an inevitability, and you have to. That's baseball, right?
Yeah,
You try to, for certain things, unless you're the big name markets. If you're the Bostons, if you're the Yankees, you're even if you're the Dodgers, you're trying to collect through free agency, and then maybe some minimal trades for teams that are desperate, that are trying to get that 2-3 year success out of star players. And when they can't do it, they can't re-sign. But I'll tell you now, this won't be the first of many trades, or this will be the first of many trades that come in. Don't be surprised if Felix Hernandez is going to be gone too. And like I said, it's just inevitability. They had a good score, or they had a good record, but can they improve on this? No, because the level of competition is just too high.
right.
And even
especially in the AL West.
especially
Especially in the AL West.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. The Yankees, with the first wild card spot, was 100 wins, 62 losses. The Athletics were 97-65. You couldn't come in within 8 of those games to win, and it's just done.
I mean, look what happened to the Rays. They had a plus 90 win season, and they still weren't even close to being in the wild card spot.
Yeah.
But then again, the AL East is absolutely stacked right now, which means basically both your wild cards are going to go to the AL East, and or at least one of them. So it's really just one spot for the remaining 3 divisions, and the West is really strong right now with the Astros and with the Angels.
And the Oakland
So
A's with Moneyball.
exactly.
Actually, the A's were the team that came out of nowhere for everyone. It was another one of those Moneyball years where just everything, Billy Bean made everything work out again. And the Mariners were the team that got screwed in the end for that one, because had the A's not been so awesome, they would have had that second wild card spot, and they would have had their playoff drought ended, and most likely they probably wouldn't be blowing this team up. They probably would have been more encouraged to, hey, we're not that far away from competing with these guys. But the other point, I mean, the Mariners are in a different way doing what the Marlins and what other teams are doing too, is just blowing it all up. Because from what I've seen and what I've read, the Mariners have a pretty paltry farm system. So they have no depth whatsoever. A guy goes down and they're screwed, and it basically happened this season. They were screwed if any of their star players or especially their starting pitching went down. So it creates a the only way they could make the playoffs or even try to make noise is if everything had to fall into place, like all the stars aligned. And it hasn't since 2001 for the Mariners, and this is the best year that they've had so far. And it's funny, the best year that they've had with more playoff spots open, and they still couldn't get in. And now they're just like, all right, we're just going to blow it up. I know the Mariners were sold to a new owner. Nintendo doesn't own them anymore, so maybe he wants to kind of end that era of Mariners baseball under that old regime. So I'm glad I'm no longer paying for their contracts anymore. Even though Nintendo still owns, like, as a minority owner of the Mariners team, but that's an aside. It's gonna suck for Seattle, but they're in the same position as the Marlins. The Marlins have the second longest drought in North American sports, so I feel for them right now. I really do. They're gonna suck for a while, just as the Marlins, and it's funny that it's the Mariners that this is happening to. Two teams that start with Mar, two teams that had Ichiro at the end of his career, and it's all falling apart again. But hopefully in 4 to 5 years, this will all work out for them. And we'll see the Seattle Mariners versus the Miami Marlins in the World Series in 2025. Gosh. All right.
As long as the Mariners don't change their color scheme and logo, I'll be fine with that.
Actually, I like both of their color schemes, the blue and yellow scheme and their emerald and aqua scheme.
I prefer that one personally, but
either way, they've had some good looks over the years.
Absolutely.
The Yankees are making moves, and they're gonna sign that guy. Who's the top pitcher? That one guy.
Corbin.
Yeah, there he is. That's him.
But he signed with Washington, I believe.
He just did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
never mind.
Washington now has 3 pitchers that are over $100 million in their entire contract. Matt Scherzer being one of them, rightfully so. They have Corbin. I'll bring it up now. He has 6 years, $140 million deal, which is interesting because you thought they were going to kind of implode a little bit based on how their season went. But they have him, and I still think they have Steven Strasburg. They have to worry about Bryce Harper. So I wonder if this is anticipation of Harper leaving.
Or it might be a way to entice him to stay. Like, hey, look at the moves we're making. Maybe.
I mean, here's the thing. Are you going to convince me? Bryce Harper will probably want to stay more to have a manager that actually knows how to manage the game. I know he wasn't happy with Dusty Baker, getting fired, rightfully so, because Baker, put them not into the playoffs, but they made him a consistent team. If you're going to give me a guy that you're going to pay a whole lot of money for to show up every 5 starts, that might not seem to me that you're actually going to try to make our team better. Maybe getting another bat, a couple other guys to kind of help him out instead of putting the pressure on his shoulders. But regardless, it's a good pickup for the Nationals because they're basically not waving the white flag that many people thought was going to happen. We wanted him, but, the Yankees want him. But sometimes you lose out, and that happens.
And, yeah, the Yankees will be fine. All right. So that's our baseball talk. Still, that's a big thing happening before the winter meetings. The Marlins, I know, they offered 2 contracts to JT Realmuto, 2 offers, and they lowballed him. I don't know why they lowballed him, but they did. And JT Realmuto, his representation were just like, yeah, forget it, guys. No, we want out of Miami.
How much longer is he under contract for?
Gosh, I forgot. I think he still has somebody look it up, but I think maybe
I'm on it.
2 or 3 seasons more. I don't know. It's something like that.
Then they don't have a position of power. I get it, but he's going to show up to work regardless.
But the thing is, I mean, the Marlins are in this rebuild, and his value is high right now.
He becomes a free agent in 2021.
So 2 more seasons. Mm-hmm. So I was close. I think the current 2 best offers right now are from the Atlanta Braves, who are offering their top prospect, their top third base prospect, and the Colorado Rockies. I don't know what they're offering. obviously, I want the Marlins to pull the trigger and make a deal because there's no use having one of the best catchers in the league and hoping that in 2 or 3 years that the Marlins will be good. I don't think the Marlins will be good enough in 2 years to justify having Real Muto on the squad. I don't think this rebuild is going to be that fast. I don't know what Jeter's thinking, but it's not going to be that fast. It wasn't that fast for the Houston Astros, and it wasn't that fast for the Chicago Cubs. So the Marlins are. My hopes for the season are maybe a 5-game improvement from this season, but I don't see the Marlins making that huge of a stride unless they really do hit on a future superstar. But that's not going to happen right now as I see it. So trade Real Muto while he still has this super high value, and before you start the season and he has the possibility of getting hurt, because it only takes one game. And and Jeter's got to pull the trigger while he's got a shot.
Let me ask you this, because I guess I got to play devil's advocate. How are you supposed to lure these big fish, no pun intended, to Miami if you're not going to have a cheaper salary, I guess, because Real Muto is under contract that's not exorbitant. And then 2, you're not going to at least tell these free agents, hey, we're going to pair you with a young stud talent, and maybe this will trade his mind. I understand that the idea is, 5 years will be good, but the problem is if you're continually throwing guys away because you're under duress, prospects are prospects, and that's the problem.
Well, I mean, the idea is that Real Muto's not a prospect. He's a guy who's in his prime. So, and he's I guess he's that last piece of that past Loria era, if you will, that we just need to send him off on his way. He'll win another MVP and we'll suck. We'll have another MVP gone away maybe, and the Marlins will suck. But I want a clean break. Let Real Muto go. He doesn't want to be here. It's good to have, and the idea is not to have that sort of perpetual revolving door of okay, like the Pirates and the Royals used to do a lot. The guy becomes good and we'll ship him off. We can't afford him. The idea is to do what Chicago and Houston did: is they get good and we sign them. What Tampa usually does, we sign them to a good contract while they're ascending, while they're trending up, but not at that prime. So we keep them relatively cheap, and their value will go up, and then we'll work it from there. I think that's how the Marlins will do it, but unless they get a big money guy to come in and purchase the team. But the Marlins aren't going to be a free agent destination until those prospects become really good, and they can't give up on them, and they can't trade them away, or also just have this revolving door, just like the Pirates for so long and the Royals for so long. The idea, and the Marlins have done it twice before with their World Series championships, but the idea is to keep the guys afterwards. Like Houston, like Chicago, maybe like the Braves now, who knows? Like the Yankees right now. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, don't realize that this Yankee squad is their players that they developed. These aren't huge. Now they're in the position to make those big giant free agent signings, but their guys are homegrown guys.
We had a small relaunch, but the idea is that we still took those prospects to get a Giancarlo Stanton, to get the guys, Aroldis Chapman. Look how we got him back. That was a good hand. I mean, we traded away to get prospects that we knew we were getting back. We got lucky. That's the motto. If everybody followed through, there'd be a lot of even playing field. Hopefully not. I like having the upper advantage. That's my thoughts on that.
Okay. All right, so I think we should move away from baseball now. It's all just speculation at this point until we get to actual games out in April. We've got